If you're grinding as a strategist and feeling like you're stuck babysitting your team while getting yeeted by a Black Panther, this video is your ticket to turning things around. I've been where you are, frustrated, wondering why your team's yelling, "Heal me!" while you're trying not to get one-shot by an Iron Man ultimate. Today, we're diving into why strategists are tough to master and how to play them like you're leading the Avengers. Spoiler, it's not about spamming heals, and I have proof you're making this mistake along with multiple other mistakes more than you think you are. Let me show you. Let's jump into the multiverse and fix your strategist game. Let's talk about the big problem in Marvel Rivals. Strategist players are struggling, and it's not just because your team thinks you're their personal health pack dispenser. This recent patch was designed to sort of address a lot of this too, with the whole strategist players are struggling. That's why Luna Snow got buffed and all these crazy reworks for Jeff and everything. I've seen the expos, I've seen the Reddit rants, the Discord meltdowns, everyone shouting, just heal more, swap the Luna Snow. But that's like telling Thor to just swing his hammer harder. The real issue, too many players treat every strategist the same, like they're all Invisible Woman with a shield obsession. In Marvel Rivals, strategists aren't just healers, they're game changers with unique hits that can swing fights if you play them right. Each strategist has strengths and weaknesses that shine depending on your team, the map, and enemy comp. Stick with me because we're about to unpack all 9 strategists, including Ultron, and how to make them shine. Adam Warlock. Here's the too long didn't read on Adam Warlock. You need good aim with this character. It's a must. Here's how you're playing him wrong though. You're treating him like a mid strategist who can deal poke damage. That's not how you play him though. You need to be occasional poke damage on steroids. You have to treat him like a duelist character. If you aren't aggressive with him and constantly shelling out damage, play a different strategist. And that's okay if you do. You need to be getting picks for your team, and you need to have fantastic target priority as Adam. The #1 Adam Warlock player, Karova, will have games where he has the highest damage on his team, more than his duelists. If you struggle knowing what targets to prioritize and when to prioritize them, consider playing a different strategist until you master this. Adam's Soul Bond grants healing over time and distributes damage taken across the bond, perfect for saving your Emma Frost or your Punisher. And Adam's recent patch gave him a passive where headshots reduces heal cooldown by 1 second. But again, you need to have good aim to capitalize on this. Adam's strength though, countering dive comps with Soul Bond and his Star-Lord Mantis team up for Resurrects. Don't pick him if you're aim shaky or you're not getting value. Swap if you're just feeding. He's also great for range damage though and busting deployables like Namor's squids. Be aggressive with this character. You're not a heal bot, of course. So you're basically a DPS with sprinkles of burst heals that can also catch the enemy team off guard whenever you do that burst healing. So play him as such. If you're vibing with these strategist tips, consider subscribing. I have this one canned, but I thought it was pretty good. It's like signing up for S.H.I.E.L.D., but with less paperwork and more Marvel Rivals bangers. So help me keep the guides coming, and I promise not to make you fight Thanos solo. Back to the video. Cloak and Dagger are your go-to for survivability and auto-aim heals. Here's how you're playing them wrong though. It's a delicate dance and a balance between heal botting your team and knowing when to deal damage. I can't tell you how many times I have died right in front of a Cloak and Dagger who was in their cloak form, tunnel vision attacking the enemy Iron Fist while I die right in front of them as their tank. Now I'm dead, so you know where all of that enemy damage gets focused? On our Cloak and Dagger, who are also now back in spawn with me. You also don't always want to heal bot. A question you could ask is, why are you in Dagger form spitting out baby damage when our Luna Snow just ulted, which makes our entire team practically invincible? Go into cloak form and mess some people up. I promise you aren't doing this as much as you think you are. Go back and watch your games you lost and see when you were playing passive when you should have been aggressive. And I want to put a pin in this because I know you aren't doing this. I see this in high elo consistently. You're playing more passive when you should be more aggressive, but also don't overdo it on the aggressive stint. It is really difficult for a team to thrive if you're always spitting out damage, especially as a Cloak and Dagger character, when you really do shine when you are heal botting at particular times. There's that balance to be had. Dagger's healing bubble and primary fire make her perfect for sustaining mobile or stationary heroes like Iron Man or Doctor Strange. Dark teleportation lets you escape flankers or high burst damage. pick Cloak and Dagger in solo queue when you want to deal some damage while healing, or if your aim isn't as strong. Their Terror Cape is also clutch for setting up kills. Just don't heal bot. Use that damage to secure picks. Invisible Woman is the Swiss Army knife of Strategists. Her high healing output, quick charging ultimate, invisibility, force physics, they make her versatile for any comp. Her team up with the Fantastic Four heroes, Thing, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, boost their survivability, especially Human Torch, who's been S tier for season 2 before the patch. Invisible Woman can also push enemies off maps or block ultimates with her shield, giving her huge carry potential in solo queue. With your force physics ability alone, you can counter Wolverine by shutting down his grabs. You can counter a Venom trying to swing out last second when his health is getting depleted. You can push an overly aggressive Black Panther into your front line to get shredded. You can pull a Groot out of position. There's so much you can do here, and it's not done on a consistent enough clip. I promise if you make a mental note to use her force physics more in a match, you'll instantly realize how much more room there is for you to abuse this ability. Invis is a safe pick for any comp or any mode. Oh boy, Jeff's a wild card. His Joyful Splash heals and I suppose now does damage as well, but he also has environmental kill potential, eating enemies off maps. He also has his trusty handy dandy Sharknado with Storm. We have yet to see what this new official Jeff meta looks like, but just know this silly shark can do a bit of everything, a little bit of stealth, a little bit of DPS, healing, self-healing. He has an ultimate that you can't ignore. It does look like it's more difficult to do the DPS Jeff sort of strategy now, but he's still a bit of everything. Here's where Jeff mains have previously gone wrong. They would use him as a DPS while sprinkling in some healing, which you would think on the surface sounds right. That's what high level players have been doing. I have no problem with that. The issue arises though whenever your flank routes take longer than a cross-country trip. Even if you grab a pick for your team, you've done more harm than good if half your team is back in spawn due to no heals or no damage that you've been doing. Even with the new Jeff rework, there's a balance to be had. Focus on zooming out and observing who on your team is constantly taking damage and how often they need your support. Your kit is capable of a lot, so you're going to use your noggin a bit more playing him than simply staying directly by your tank and spamming heals the entire game. Although you could argue with the rework you might do just that, but even so, there will be times when you're required to do more than that. Try zooming out and see the big picture with your specific team. Maybe you do need to heal bot a little bit more. Maybe your 3 and 7 tank needs a little bit more love, and that's his playstyle. And now your team has the space and the ability to actually shine. You have to play with the team you have, not the team you want. Loki's your anti-dive king. His immunity lamps shut down assassins like Black Panther or Magic, making him a defensive beast on any map. Pair him with Hela or Thor for free resurrections or bonus health, creating a nightmare trio. Loki's less effective at healing flyers like Storm due to his projectile mechanic, so consider Luna Snow or somebody if your team's airborne and you can tell you're not keeping up and, well, keeping them up. Loki is also a devastating DPS with his multiple clones. You can flank and kill unsuspecting squishies by spamming clone and coming out of invisibility to click on someone's head once or twice. There's a ton you can do with this character, and we won't be able to cover everything in this video with it. You may have noticed this is a theme for practically all strategists, but it's a fair point to make. You need to understand what balance is needed by you in a given game. Do you need to be healing more? Do you need to be doing more damage? Or does it need to be relatively split? Here's a tip that may help. Don't be afraid to bunch your clones up in one spot from time to time. Top Loki players will play their clones in one spot for opening setups or to catch someone off guard. And when you reach a high enough elo, the time it takes you to calculate and place a clone in a cute spot, you're dead or your clone is taken out anyway. There's a time and a place to use trickery, but sometimes the trickiest thing you can do is by doing the obvious thing. Place your clones down quickly and get value from them when you can. And another tip for Loki, always have 2 backup plans. I play Venom a lot, and what I'll do against an enemy Loki is I'll dive him, go for a quick headshot to make him panic and place his lamps down. And as a Venom player, I'm expecting that. So I don't even need to see the lamps place. I only need to see you start the animation of placing the lamps, and I'm already out of there. But after those 5 seconds are up, I'm diving on you again. And even in high elo, I'll often get value from causing Lokis to panic, either literally walking around in a circle or jumping in one spot because he feels hopeless and used his best ability. That's where mentally knowing a smart diver is going to know to bait out your regeneration domain pools. What are you going to do once that's been cast? Are you going to invis after that? Do you have clones placed to teleport to? Have a backup to your backup. Luna Snow's the queen of main healing. Did you know her Snowflake ability grants a 35% increase in healing to whoever has it? You likely knew it sustains divers like Magic or Venom, letting them go deep without dying. And because you don't have to directly heal them to receive some of that healing, but whoever you place that Snowflake on, they're getting a whopping 35% bonus increase to your already impressive healing amount. There's just no way most Lunas know this. Because of this, Luna can be ideal with high health tanks like Groot or Hulk, or in multi-tank comps. She's a must pick for her ultimate alone if you know how to counter dive with her snowball. Here's how you're playing her wrong. As a tank main, I know firsthand I don't get Luna's Snowflake hardly ever, and as someone who's put quite a bit of time into playing Luna Snow, I get it. There's a lot going on. You're getting dove on, your Iron Man is a quarter HP floating above your head somewhere, Psylocke is around a corner potentially losing a duel, and your Magneto is getting thwarted by a Punisher's turret and Emma Frost's primary. There's a lot on your plate, but that doesn't mean you can't build the muscle memory to constantly be placing your Snowflake on someone who needs it in a given moment. Have a Doctor Strange who needs a ton of love all of a sudden? Quickly put your Snowflake on him to practically insta-heal him. Then, dash your camera back to give your Snowflake back to your Human Torch. If you're not constantly doing this, you're using this character wrong. You also should be aggressive and trying to farm your ultimate. You have one of the best ultimates in the game, so maximizing how many you have in a match is advantageous. Okay, great, but how do we do that? By using your clap ability and pierce healing your team while damaging the enemy, but do not be afraid to off angle and shoot the enemy team. If your team is healthy enough, and I do mean healthy enough, not 100% completely full HP, they don't always need that from you, step to the side and damage the enemy team. They won't expect it, and now you've just increased your team's DPS, forcing the opposing team to dig their heels in, putting more pressure on their strategist, which does nothing but free your team to do what they do best. Throw the match because you're one win away from ranking up. I'm just kidding, but not really. Mantis can be a carry strategist. Her damage output makes her a tank melter and a dive counter, but she really shines if you land your headshots. Due to her recent rework of being able to stack her passive healing or damage boost, lasting up to 16 seconds instead of 8 seconds, she's a sustaining and damage dealing beast. Sure, she's not going to give you giga endless heals like an invisible woman, but her mobility and massive damage output is what separates her from the pack. Her Adam Warlock team up gives a resurrect, which is incredibly powerful. Swap off if your team needs more healing or if you're missing shots. She's not forgiving in that aspect. And here's where a lot of Mantis mains go wrong. They don't enable themselves and their team enough. Strong Mantis players understand their kit is designed to buff themselves and their team, either with healing or damage boosts. This requires an impressive amount of awareness to pull off consistently in a match that is chaotic in nature. It's difficult knowing what's going on, regardless of what rank you're in. There's simply too much to mentally keep track of at times. You need to know who your key players are and when you should single or double stack your healing or damage buffs. If you're not constantly off angling as Mantis, looking where you can get additional damage in for your team, you're playing her wrong. If you're only using your sleep ability to simply run away instead of getting 3 headshots on an unprotected opponent, you're also using her wrong. Rocket Raccoon's a portable pack-a-punch. His revive beacon and bonus health ultimate post-patch make him ideal for holding chokes, capture points, or really anything now. His primary shreds tanks, and his survivability isn't as strong as it once was, but still viable. Don't heal bot with Rocket, use his gun to finish off targets. He can do absurd damage with his primary fire. Use it every chance you get. Always have an alarm bell that goes off when your partner strategist uses their ultimate. If it's a healing one, like a Luna Snow, let's say, go ahead and start firing your primary to force the enemy team to heal it or mitigate it, or even better, take it on the chin. One of the biggest things I've seen Rocket players do, or not do rather, is not use their primary enough. It can and does swing entire team fights when there's a Rocket that knows when to be aggressive. So get aggressive. Ultron's just dropped in season 2.5 as of the recording of this video, and he's shaping up to be a game changer, or maybe a balance patch victim, who knows. Leaks, trailers, and now early season gameplay shows he's like Iron Man with a healing twist. His primary deals damage, while his imperative patch ability deploys a healing drone for divers like Venom or Spider-Man. I'm gonna read you a quick snippet from the MarvelRivals.gg website. Ultron's ability, Imperative Patch, is a healing skill capable of healing his teammates even if they're far away. This is perfect for healing teammate divers, flankers, and flying allies such as Venom, Spider-Man, Iron Man, or the Thing. Imperative Firewall further supports those marked with Imperative Patch, adding bonus health. Again, this is a perfect skill to prolong the survivability of teammate flankers and divers. With these types of skills, Ultron is not a strategist who really focuses on heals. Instead, he is perfect as a hybrid support, capable of dealing huge damage too. The best way to play Ultron right now is to be semi-aggressive, helping both in engaging enemies and defending the friendly backline, while at the same time healing those who are diving into the enemy line. Something I'll add is his Stark Protocol team up with Iron Man unleashes a piercing unibeam that heals and damages, so that could be fun. His ultimate also summons drones for AoE healing and damage, which will be interesting for team fights, but here's the catch. Netties might buff, nerf, or rework him, so we can't say definitively how he'll fit just yet. And remember, you can fly, so stay out of melee character range when possible. As a Venom main, I've been able to take out Ultrons, and I've seen Emma Frost and Black Panthers give Ultron issues as well. And keep in mind, this is in GM and Celestial Lobby, so we're not talking about quick play matches. I think the best Ultron players are going to think a lot like the best Iron Man players. Know when you need to stay high in the sky, know when you can hover lower to cap the point or do what you need to do for your team. As a strategist though, I would play a bit more cautious, as your life is precious. It's difficult to win a team fight when you lose a strategist. Now that we've covered every strategist, I wanted to hit you guys with 3 bonus universal tips to level up your game for anyone who's watching this far. Number 1 would be know your maps. Marvel Rival maps are wild. They're like a fight scene in in-game. High ground is your friend. Use Loki's lamps or Invisible Woman's shields from elevated spots, giving your team a nice advantage. Learn choke points and ledges, especially if the enemy team is running a hero that can easily take you off the map. Ping flankers like Black Panther to save your bacon. Know where health packs are located as well. If you're backing up as a strategist and taking damage, you should know the map well enough to think, okay, if I back up and take a left at this corner, there should be a med pack right about here to help me out. That's massive. That could be the difference between you staying up to help your team or your team getting wiped. Number 2, time your ultimates. Strategist ultimates can win fights, but don't hold them forever like you're saving the Soul Stone. Use Luna's to sustain a push, or Loki's to counter a dive. I don't know how it's possible, but even in Eternity lobbies, there will be strategist players who clearly aren't thinking about keeping the momentum of the fight alive, and they'll just save their ultimate. Now, you don't want to pop your ult when your team's already dead, but momentum in this game is a real thing. Play around this. Tip number 3, balance healing and playmaking. Healing's your job in a way, but you're not a medkit vending machine. Mantis and Adam Warlock can frag, while Invisible Woman's force physics can push enemies off objectives. If you're only healing, you're neglecting a large part of your kit, and a lot of strategist mains fall into this sort of default role. Don't do that. If you're Invisible Woman, you might think you don't do a ton of damage, and while that's true, if you compare your raw damage output to a Duelist or something, but what if you consciously line your shots up to heal your Vanguard and damage the enemy simultaneously, rather than mindlessly heal-botting the entire time? Really think about this, because I see strategists go into autopilot a lot in this game. You can play make and shift the tide, so do it. Being a strategist isn't just about healing, it's about mastering your hero's unique strengths. From Luna Snow's dive support to Ultron's hybrid chaos, match your pick to your team, map, enemy comp, and don't be afraid to swap if it's not working. Use awareness, time your ultimates, and balance healing with playmaking to carry your team. If you found this guide helpful, consider subscribing. Have you ever wondered, am I really playing the right role? Check out my most recent video where I break down how to choose the best role for you. Until next time.